Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
It's week 12, and things are getting real for the Kansas City Chiefs. After dropping 2 straight, every game from here on out feels like a must-win, and it is a must-win. Starting this week against the Indianapolis Colts, the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites, and Mahomes, Kelce, and that entire locker room are locked in to get back on track and reassert their dominance in the AFC. FanDuel has every angle covered from Mahomes' passing props to Kelce's receptions to how this defense plans to slow down Indy's ground game. Want even more action? Build your own same-game parlay and ride with Chiefs Kingdom as Kansas City fights to get back into the win column. With fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Mahomes sidearm throw, FanDuel makes every snap feel bigger. And don't forget, every Friday on Chief Concerns, we drop our best 5-leg same-game parlay for the weekend. Plus, JD's 10 keys to victory, breaking down exactly how the Chiefs can handle business against the Colts and get the season back on track. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Chiefs versus Colts in a must-win football game. It's time for our Chiefs to respond. Attention all sports bettors. Big news, Chiefs Kingdom. Sports betting is finally going live in Missouri on December 1st. So we've partnered with bookies.com to bring you all the best sportsbook promos and sign-up offers in one place. Head over to bookies.com/chiefconcerns. The link is in the description below to check out all the offers from the top sports books in your area and pre-register today. You can lock in those bonuses now, even before betting officially starts on December 1st. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash, and our guy, former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, will be joining us shortly. And tonight, we finally have our guy. It's his second stint on being on the Chief Concerns show. He was supposed to be on during the bye week, but he had some internet connection issues while on vacation during his bye week. So he will be joining us tonight, and I am very excited to have him on our show. This guy is a Chiefs Hall of Famer, I have to say. At least in my eyes, he's a Chiefs Hall of Famer. I mean, huge. I mean, you can't tell the story of the Chiefs Super Bowl against the 49ers without telling the story of big Mike Pennel. So Mike Pennel will be joining us tonight. Going to be a good one. Oh, look at that. Jennifer assessed. I talked to her earlier on the chat on the during the Chiefs pressers today. Jennifer, appreciate the contribution. Really appreciate that. No, we got some How About Those Chiefs peeps in the house. Love that. And also, let me give a shout out to Cole and the How About Those Chiefs channel. I think they eclipsed 300,000 subscribers this past week. So congratulations to Cole. He's a really terrific dude. Every time I have a question, anything, he's always there to support me. Anything having to do with YouTube and content creation. So he's a good guy, and I don't think he's let the subscribers get to his head. He's a good dude. So appreciate that, Jennifer, and shout out to Cole for getting over the 300,000 mark. So guys, it's week 12. Like, I can't believe we're already here. I'm not honestly. I know the season we're 5-5. It hasn't gone the way we wanted it to. A little depressed. As you get to the end of football season, you get it here. With preseason, training camp begins. It's so early, and everyone's so excited about it. Then you get to week 1 of the season, and just like a snap of a finger, we're in Thanksgiving. We're at week 12 already. I mean, we're more than halfway through the season, so it's kind of it's unfortunate that football season's almost over. I mean, the college football season's almost done. So it's like one of those things. It's like we're almost at the end of the regular season. Once you get to the Thanksgiving and Christmas period, it's like the kind of time where it's a little sad that it's almost over. I love, Sasha, it's going by faster than my 20s. It really is. Football season every year, it comes around once a year, but when it's here, it goes by very fast. But that's football season. That's why we all love it. Guys, Mike Pennel will be joining us around 8:25 Eastern Standard Time, so about 5 minutes from now. JD should be joining us shortly to greet you guys before we bring in Mike Pennel. And yeah, JD is joining us right now. What perfect timing that is. Oh my God, fantastic. JD, there he is. There's the man.
What's up, man? What's going down with you, Marcus? How you doing, brother? How's everything going?
Week 12, baby. I'm excited, but also I was just telling the chat that I'm kind of sad, that's like, all year long we wait for football season and we talk about mini camp, OTAs, training camp. Then all of a sudden, snap a finger where it's week 12 or Thanksgiving is a week away, So it's just, it's kind of, when I get to this part of the football season, I get kind of sad. I know that we have postseason play ahead of us, but at this point of the season, regular season, already at week 12, man, it feels like just yesterday we were preparing for week 1 of the season, the Brazil game, and now it's here.
Sometimes, man, when it's a good time, it goes by quick, right? So that's pretty much what it is. That's how I look at it. Sure. I mean, that's the thing about it, man. Football is such a great time. I mean, it really is. I mean, now when I look at it, almost when I, as a coach and as a former player, high school, I guess some of my boys are coaching, and before you know it, this season is gone. And not only that, but also too, same thing college-wise. Man, they ask me all the time, JD, man, when you getting down here for a game? I'm just like, daggone, like the season's already, halfway ended.
Nuts.
Yeah, I've gone to, and I do another show. I know people don't know it here, but I do like ESPN Lexington here, and I do like the UK, pre games with them. And it's been a joy to actually do that, man. Because look, Marcus, you know me. I'm not really a huge college football guy.
I know.
Just never really have been. So NFL is it for me. I love the NFL season for everything it brings, all the stories, all of, the experience and the excitement and all those different things. So for me, man, when I'm watching this, I savor every single moment, every single game. And what I find myself doing is going back, looking at a few games that I just wanted to catch up with. One of the games I caught up with today, I watched the Bears and the Vikings get at it.
That was a good game.
That was great. And I was just, and to be honest with you, Marcus, I was just looking at, because of this conversation that's involved with the Chiefs, right? All around with their offense and what things look like, and has the game passed Andy by? What are we at 5-5? All these different teams, and I'm just looking at some good ball. And of course, I'm checking out what Chicago's offense looked like and the Vikings' offense looks like, and then of course you have other ones that was given a lot of like accolades to where the Bears are now. Okay, and the offense, what it looks like. And to be honest with you, I'm looking at the offense. I'm like, it's just nothing really, too excited or think out of the box, thinking out of the box. You know what I mean? And
it's funny you say that. I was listening to one of these sports betting shows, and they were talking about I forgot what the metric was, but based on this certain metric, they are the worst 7-3 team of NFL history. Based on that, I forgot what the metric was, but like based on that certain metric, they were they're the worst team to be 7-3 at this point in the season. With this, I forgot what the rating was, but I'm not surprised when you watch them play.
No, but they have a pretty decent offensive lineup. At least for that game, I watched them do a really good job. Got one of our guys, Joe Tooney, up there, of course, and he's doing a good job as well. But yeah, and I guess it's a lot of it is perception. Different people have different perspectives on, where teams are at. But I guess someone was using their offense as being really thought out of. Like, man, it's a creative guy calling the offense and what they wanted to be. I'm just like, okay. Yeah, maybe for them. But when I look at it offensively in this league, how far behind are the Chiefs? Especially when they start asking for Andy's head and Nagy's head and all of my goodness and what these things are. And I see everybody has these takes that gets amplified off of how they feel and what they think, right? It's not like the practicality of stuff. And, I just sometimes, man, I kind of wince at things when I see stuff on Twitter and people's opinions. I was like, okay, really? All right. Now, with that being said, I've been saying this from day one, probably, since we really started the show, about us running the football more, right? That's been something that has been said, has been pushed, has been emphasized over and over again about running the football. And I think now, Andy with his press conference, something was talking about, trying to adopt a little bit more balanced approach to what we should be doing. And I'm just like, yeah.
That's been the theme of our shows pretty much all season long. Finding more of a balance.
And it's good because I think Mitchell was saying the same thing, and Jeff also as well. Swartz was talking about some of the running plays, getting under center. Like this is all the stuff that we've been talking about right here at Chiefs Concerns ad nauseum. It really has been over, like I said, since we got on the show, about what we should do, how we should do it, why aren't we doing more of it. But I'm really looking forward to these next few weeks of Chiefs ball, and what we're finding out, what we know is really who has the guys' backs, who's really bought in. And I see a lot of people sweeping this season under the rug already. Hey man, let's just move on and get at least we want to be drafting late and all that. Let's get a nice pick. They already talking about picks and stuff, and I'm just like, how easy is it to move on? How easy to just now the next one? Oh, we ain't got it this year. The Chiefs suck, and like the word "sucks" to me is like really like, does this person really suck? Are the Chiefs really that bad? Do they really suck? Or is this a team, because we were talking about it, have been missing opportunities because of little things here and there, right? Things hadn't really worked out our way. We hadn't worked in our favor. But are we a sucky team? I don't think so. I don't believe so at all. And I guess when our man Mike gets on here, we're gonna talk a little bit about like just the whole energy and how you really focus on some of the things that you do, some of the conversation, what he can tell about, just being in the locker room. I mean, y'all get that from me, but Mike, he'll shed some light on a little bit of it. And I already told you, I'll let y'all know. Guys in the locker room don't think that way. You just don't. You still feel like you have a lot of ball left. I've been on teams where I've seen guys pack it up early. I have, and those type of guys, but that's not what the Chiefs are made of. We got too many great guys on our team just to give it in like that. Talking about all next year, and we wasting Pat Mahomes' talent, and now, man, come on, man. Like we still. All of us that's not on the playing field that puts helmets and shoulder pads on for a living. And we out here in TV world and going viral on Twitter and whatnot. And we armchair quarterbacks and analysts and have all these different things on and opinions. That's just what they are. And the guys under there, they know in the locker room the realness of every situation. Every single game, what it means to them. And so I love that Pat said the guys are looking at this for a challenge. They're looking at this challenge. And how sweet would it be? Well, go ahead.
No, I like kind of what you said and what Pat said. And for me, it's like, I mean, they've accomplished like literally everything. And I know they obviously don't want to be in this hole, right? They have to win out 7 games, but like, in the bingo chart of the Patrick Mahomes era, this is like the first time really we've been backs against the wall like this. And to say like, hey, like they won 7 straight to make the playoffs. And also I know people have written off the division, but like you win 7 straight, that means you have to beat Denver once. And then Denver's schedule, I think they play Jacksonville. We've seen Jacksonville pretty much sweep our entire division so far. They play Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to be, fighting to get into the playoffs as well. And I believe they have another tough game as well. So they lose to us, they lose to Jacksonville. whatever. But like if you win 7 straight, that's like another part of the bingo chart for the Patrick Mahomes there. Like, look, like that one year where they won 7 straight to get into the championship, to get into the playoffs. And it's like one of those things that, we haven't seen it yet. And like that famous quote of Andy Reid, not every day is going to be rosy. Not every season is going to be rosy. It's going to have its own bumps, its own narrative, its own story. And this story is the Chiefs are 5-5 right now, and they have to fight and claw and scratch to get into the playoffs this year. And I think this is the team to do. If any team can do what we want them to do and what they have to do to get in the playoffs, I think this is the team that can do it.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. If anything, because of the level of talent that we have, okay, we have read up on the offensive line. We have gotten better in the wide receiver position. Tight ends, Travis is playing at an all-time high. Our running backs are doing really well in spite of what everybody else thinks, of course, because everybody's looking to have, the home run ball hitter, but whatever. Defensively, I think that we play a very good type of ball, okay? Nobody's really killing us in the running game. We keep guys in front of us. The last 2 weeks, we kind of let guys get behind us a little bit. We kept them in the game, but we're keeping the scores relatively low. They've been doing a good job of that. And so, like all season. And so if anybody can put a team like this together that is 5-5, because that's what the record is, and right the ship, I put my money on this team right here that we got. All the people that's been fans over the years of in Chiefs Kingdom understand what, some of the struggles have been, okay? I've been part of those years where we had some very good years, had a good run of had a first round bye and all, I've been part of that, one of the top offenses in the NFL. And so those are some really good years. And then all of a sudden it got to the point where it was, it was a little rocky. But for people who didn't have to weather that type of storm or see it as a fan, and then get to this era and y'all don't quite understand how many years it took for the Chiefs to get here. And then all of a sudden when the struggle happens now, after going after AFC Championship year after year, Super Bowls year after year, and the one bump in the road, these struggles come, and suckers are like, I'm out. I'm just out. And, abandonment. It's just crazy, man. Crazy. And Sasha says, opportunity for a great story. That's what Sasha, I'm telling you, I cannot wait. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we go ahead and finish this thing off right where we said we was going to do. Okay. And that's going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, winning the big one. And I hope we do that. So I tell you what, man, you see these fingers, okay? I might be a Twitter gangster, boy. I'm going to let these suckers fly. So.
There's a good amount of people I've had to respond to in our comments and on Twitter, just about saying that you and I are too bubbly and optimistic about this team when it's like, just pack it in, it's time, it's over. It's like, no, guys, it's not over yet. I mean, it's not. So and like what you said, JD, I don't think people really understand what we've had to and I'm not saying all fans are new, and I have some fans who are have been around for a while and have seen different renditions of this team. But if people are jumping ship at 5-5, when they show the graphic in the hunt, we are still in the hunt, and we still have 7 games left. It's not like we have 2 games left, 7 games left. People wouldn't be able to really comprehend some of the years of 2006 year, JD. They would be able to they would have jumped ship way before 2006. Way before earlier in that season. Remember that year where you guys need 10 teams to lose to get into playoffs at that final week of the season?
Yeah, I remember. Hey, look, we like just looking at the TV. You wait for people to lose. Okay, how's this going to work? Okay, they win. We got to get in. Okay, they lose. This is where we sit at. That's a tough place to be. That's a tough place to be. All right. And we've been spoiled. We have been given a precious gift to watch some great Chiefs football over these past few years. Okay.
Seriously.
And so I don't want us to forget that. And I don't think people do. And of course, people are like, oh, well, they keep resting on their laurels and all. Hey, every year is not going to be, an easy task. It isn't. We may not always win out and lose 2 games and go into the Super Bowl. It may not look that way. But I cannot wait to savor where we are toward the end of the season if this plays out like I think it will. The amount, Marcus, of, oh my goodness, to be immersed in, that feeling of where we are toward the end.
Yeah.
The victories. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for, man. And guess what? You could call us optimists. We are. That's who we're going to be. Okay. Yeah. Until it's not going to happen, then, hey, we're going to keep riding with them. We're going to keep believing in it. So.
And to put in perspective, what JD just talked about, that 2006 year, I think it's still deemed as the most improbable playoff scenario in NFL history. So the Chiefs needed to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They needed the Bengals to lose their home game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They needed the Broncos to lose their home game against the 49ers. And they needed the Titans to lose their home game against the New England Patriots. All the teams that needed to lose were playing at home that day. Chiefs ended up winning 35-30. Steelers ended up beating the Bengals 23-17. Niners defeated the Broncos 26-23 in overtime. Oh, yeah, Steelers also beat the Bengals in overtime as well. And then the Patriots defeated the Titans 40-23 in that 2006 season. The most improbable scenario ever, man.
I didn't know it was the most improbable. You said ever?
So it says, in what has been referred to as a miracle or the most improbable playoff scenario in NFL history of all 4 events actually happening.
Wow.
That's you were part of history there, JD.
Yeah. I'm part of history in a lot of different ways. I was in the no punt game.
Yep.
For the playoffs. I don't think that's happened before, in the playoff game. So there's a lot of things, man, JD has been a part of. Put it that way. In the Chiefs jersey.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I love my Chiefs, man. I love my guys.
And also a big part of that Priest Holmes record that Travis Kelce just broke, too. And there you go, another one.
Hey, man. You see who's holding a 31 up most of the time, baby. Yeah, that's 8-9 right there in this corner. So that's when you line up, hit them in the mouth. And I hope to see more of this, Marcus. I want to see more of this moving forward with this current team doing much of the same. And I think Andy is starting to say, like, okay, you know what? I see that we can't just get away from this. And I know y'all said the quote, so I don't know. I didn't get to see it fully. I didn't get to see it where people were saying that he was throwing Pat under the bus and whatnot. And what I'll do is I'll get into it a little bit more. Maybe I could get into it now somewhat as far as like RPOs and how RPOs work. Okay. So when we have RPOs, right, which is run pass option, okay, run pass option, there's usually rules that are set in stone, but they're obviously they're malleable because of who you play. That you look at. It's kind of like the structure, right? The foundation. So usually RPOs, when you have, a light box, okay, meaning 6 in a box or less, you're usually going to run the football. Okay, that's how it works. All right. So you take your count, you start looking at everybody. That's how you designate what you're going to run, or you're going to pass, or you're going to do the option off of it. And so there's plays built in to all RPOs, routes that guys run. Okay. There's different runs. Pat is, he's looking at the defensive end. If he decides to keep it and run, he can do those things too. So there's different things built into the RPOs. But usually that's kind of how the RPO works. 6 or less in a box, you are running the football. Light box. Now, heavy box. Okay. 6 is like that number that you could determine what you want to do with their markets, okay, and everybody else out here. So if you have 6 in the box, you can either run or pass. Based off how you feel, you can take advantage of the defense. But if you have 7 in the box, that is telling you right now that is a run-heavy, okay, defense. And you should be passing the football when you see 7 in the box, all right, if that's making sense, okay? So if Pat sees 7 guys in a box, he's thinking immediately right now, this ball is coming out and I'm throwing the football, okay? Because, right, you only got 4 defenders, somebody's going to be open in the pass, okay? Now, what I did see, and I think I had that video, because Mitch showed one about, I think, Pat making a decision on the RPO, and he was explaining it. And I was trying to explain to people, like, well, what Denver did, because what they ended up having was you had a 3 technique and almost a 4 eye, okay? On the left side, it was a 3 technique, and on the right, it was a 4 eye, okay, which is inside part of, you know, the guard, okay? The thing is, when we look at it from the running standpoint, he gives to Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt can run in the A gaps. It's there. Matter of fact, the blocking scheme works, and the Mike linebacker who's sitting back is actually 7 yards deep. Okay? He's 7 yards deep. But still in the eyes of everything, he's still counted in the box. You still count him as a run defender. But for them, Denver is playing pass. So they're giving a look of 7 heavy in the box, meaning we're going to throw the football, but they're actually playing pass. Okay? That's how it looks. And I'm sure they probably had several of those doing in the game to try to play Patrick and put him in a position, knowing that we run a lot of RPOs. Okay? They know our tendencies and whatnot, and it's chess. This is a chess match. And so they're sitting there thinking, like, defensively, what do we do? Well, we could crash one of those linebackers, come up on the edge and let him crash. He can run the running back down from backside. The option guy has Pat. So when you look at RPOs, that's how RPOs work. Now, I'm sure Pat is probably looking at it, and he's sitting there saying, all our numbers and our counts, the counts I'm making, we should be passing the football because it looks like more like a run-heavy box. So Pat is sitting there saying, for us, these quick passes to the outside is as good as a run. We're just trying to move the chains. And I want to say Pat is wrong on that. They're not. But Denver is absolutely playing a game to say, hey, we know Pat is going to be looking. When he sees 7 heavy in the box, he's probably more than likely he's going to pass it. But we're going to play pass, outside of that too. So you have 2 teams that really knew, their tendencies. And that's how everybody's going to be playing the Chiefs moving forward. We know we do RPOs. We're going to put that in. But there's other things that we can do too, Marcus. We can. I can't think who sent these. I follow different ones on Twitter and guys. I'm like, ooh, I guess pretty good. But we're showing kind of our distribution about our passes. I don't know if you had this. You might have retweeted it. But the distribution of passes are more on the outside as opposed to like the cluster in the middle. And I was sitting there saying, yeah, we don't really throw a lot of middle routes as much as we should. Okay, it's pretty much based off what we do. We like this quick, short passing games. I was saying this last year when Rashid Rice's first year, Marcus. I was saying we're the team that throws more passes than anybody else under 7 yards and less. Like you could just go through you could see it. The next gen stat showed you that's where we lived. And so now where we do have guys that can actually run past people. Okay. Matter of fact, Rashid Rice, Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton, and Xavier Worthy. We got 4 legitimate guys that can run by corners. Okay. So we obviously want to introduce more of that type of game to what we do. Now, what we should be asking is, where's our intermediate routes? Okay. in the middle, and all those different things. Well, Travis runs because Travis runs get open. We don't have like your typical pass plays. Sometimes it's guys understanding where everybody is defensively and getting open. Travis does a great job of that. Now we do run outs and of course, in cuts, shallow crosses, basics, and all those different things, middle reads and whatnot. But more so than anything else, we don't really throw a lot like toward the middle of the field, like a cover 2 beater. Okay. And so that's where we have to change a little bit. But teams know it. So I know I said a lot there. I love film more than anything else because you can see it on film more so anything else, as far as I'm explaining it. But yeah. But that's kind of like the RPO look. How Pat makes the determination about run, pass, and how that should look. Our problem is we're just not calling designated run plays like we should. And that's where we need to get to. Ours are just lining up and saying we're going to run here, or we're going to, have either a gut, trap, jet sweep, get around the corner, counters, or whatever it is, and we're going to just knock you off the football. We don't do too much of that unless it's absolutely necessary. But we need to call more of those in the field, Marcus. That's part of our problem, okay? And with that, we need to be under center as well because under center gives us better action when we do more plays that way. And so, like when I watch Chicago and I watch Minnesota, they run a lot of plays on the center. And you watch how the linebackers and all those play them because you actually have to honor what they do. Because they know you're going to run the football. Well, with the Chiefs, you don't really have to honor too much of that. Why? Because they know we're going to pass more and we're going to run. So yeah, man, it's a lot there. Look at this. So you got everybody comes in, 1980 boy Lakers, Mahomes a crybaby. And this is what I love. It's what I love about you have people come in. And I tell them, y'all bring it on. Come on this show. Come on and say what you need to say, right? Say what you need to say. We was telling everybody last year, same time, hey, you better get us while we down because once we start getting back up, it's too late for you. So everybody takes a shots at us, Marcus. Everybody's taking shots. So it's been crazy. I've been fighting with a lot of Bronco fans. Heck, I done had some Patriots fans come into my mentions. I'm like, why are you here? It's almost like they patting each other on the back because they got good records now. Well, I know y'all patting each other on the back because y'all don't win that much. Y'all ain't won in a long time, so y'all are happy right now, as you should be. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. That's what I'm gonna say. We'll see what it's gonna look like at the end of the season. How about that?
Sorry, I'm just getting Mike situated. Apparently, there's a problem with the link. So
okay, no problem. No problem, baby.
He should be joining us shortly. But yeah, I have seen a lot of BS from other fan bases. Last night to the AFC West Roundtable show, and I was getting a lot of flack from a lot of the other Broncos fans in the chat. Yeah, I mean the Broncos panelists. I mean, he was talking a little bit much.
It's like sticking his chest out, huh? Yeah,
a little bit. But yeah, he was talking a bit much. And I'll give it to him, right? Like they've been in our shadow for the last 10 years. They're gonna let them have it, I guess. Yeah. So sorry. There's also a mix up on the time here. He thought I meant their time. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while we wait for Mike, I mean, we can wait till his time coming on here. Let's talk about some of the stats about this Colts game that we're about to have. And then we'll talk all things about the defense and everything with Mike when he comes on here, JD. But I know this is a big test that this Colts team they're about to play, and I know we're talking about the offense, having more of a balance and all that stuff. This team is a bottom 10 pass defense. Secondary wise, I know they just traded for Sauce Gardner. Buckner's out; he's on IR. So there's a little problem they have in the little middle of the field there. But they've also had trouble against guarding tight ends. Pretty much every tight end has eaten them alive this year. That bodes well for us with our tight end 2 on our squad. But JD, and also too, if you look at the last few weeks, you saw Algier and Bijan Robinson, both guys just torched them, dominated them, 50 yards, gashing them. Both those guys kind of dominated them. But for the most part, they've been pretty stout against the run. The secondary has been kind of the weakness for them. When you kind of look at, what you've seen from the Colts, the statistics, just the guys who are going to be out, where do you see us? And I know RPO has been the one thing everyone keeps talking about this week, and you just kind of did a great job explaining that. And I've seen some people say, "Oh, they're going against Lou Anarumo, who was the former Bengals DC, who's there. They run primarily cover 2 defense." What do you think about how we match up against this Colts defense?
I think we match up well against them. I think they knew they had to go get somebody. And that's why they made that big splash with Sauce Gardner. I mean, that was huge for them to go get a guy like that. And I was like, dang, God, y'all gave it up for Sauce? Okay, I got you. But I tell you, no question, having Big Boy out in the middle, man, that hurts him. That sucker right there is a hoss. He's one of those guys, like, every game, like, okay, you got to watch him. But I think we match up really well against him. I do. What we hopefully go into the game with is, like you said, maybe having a little bit more of a heavier presence in the run game. Okay, a little bit more traps, a little bit more of just go hitting it in the mouth. Have somebody leading up to their backers. Our wide receiver group, Marcus, I've told you that. Could go against any defense. We should be fine. We should be fine. Same thing, Travis Kelce, like you said, the tight ends, man, Travis should be able to eat this week. I don't have any problems and issues whatsoever. I think our biggest challenge is going to be, obviously, their offense. Okay. And what we have to do is we're going to start bringing some pressure. We're going to have to sit down and make sure, man, we get, very physical with these wide receivers. They got some big boys outside and they can run. Okay. Downs is a fast little guy. We know that. They got Tyler Warren, that sucker right there, man. He's a bad boy. He can do it all. So we got to hunker down and make sure we stop him too. Now, we understand what their big guy is Taylor. So Jonathan Taylor, man, he's the one you got to stop. Okay. Can't get him going. And I said that, Danny Penny's out there, or Danny Dimes is what they call him. Daniel Jones. He needs everything else around him to do well. That's what he needs. And so I think if you disrupt him and his timing, he can throw the ball. We know he can spin it. But if you start disrupting some of his timing and getting into his face, bring a little bit of blitz, stop Jonathan Taylor from getting up the field on you, we should be fine. We should be fine. And I said we got to be able to attack these guys, but we got to be able to run with them too. So I think our biggest challenge is going to be on the defensive side of the football.
Well, interesting. So you bring that up, and we'll talk more about it when Mike comes on here a little later on. But I saw an interesting stat today, which for me was kind of a little wild. Let me pull it up here. The stat was okay. So the Chiefs defense is allowing over 70% of completions on third down, which is dead last in the NFL. So on third down, we are allowing the worst kind of the worst kind of fault there, which is allowing them to complete passes on third down, and that's something that just it's not. I think it's the worst in Spags since Spags has been our DC. And obviously, we saw that last week against Bo Nix and them. They were able to just convert third downs galore against us, especially long ones, too. And I believe 3rd and 10 plus in the fourth quarter of games. We've allowed 4 conversions on third and 10 or more in the fourth quarter of games 4 times already this year. We've never allowed that in a single season ever under Spags. So we've already allowed more 3rd and 10 conversions or more this year in the fourth quarter than we ever have in a season with Spags. What does that tell you about the defense, the fact that we are allowing as many 3rd down conversions this year?
Well, I said it. I said it on a show on Monday. When I looked at this film and I'm grading the film, I do believe that there is some confusion in the secondary. And you can't go chasing cars. You can't. It's just like, if you got somebody right in front of you, you almost got to know you got to pass him off to the next defender because he's going into the next area, okay, the next zone. And so you got to be able to trust everybody around you. So if you're trying to do that and you're pulling yourself over at a position, then we're able to hit it. But also, too, we can't discount getting pressure on guys. And so if you got pressure on the quarterback, get somebody in his face, get some hands up, that could be a disruptor as well. But we just got to know exactly where everybody is on the field. We have to. And we got to be able to just make plays when it comes down to it. And so these past couple of weeks, we've kind of given up a couple of big plays in the secondary, especially, like you said, 3rd and longest. Man, those are the ones you're not supposed to give up. That should work in your favor. And so if you give those things up, then they continue to drive, which is, that hurts your momentum. That hurts your confidence. And so, you give them another chance to, keep going and put them in a position to go score. So I don't know why it's happening, but I think that's it, Marcus. That's my assessment. That's when I look at it. I see some guys out of position. I don't think the communication is as tight as it should be. And I said this before, we got a very young secondary also too. So.
But there's the stat there. If you look at all the years, I mean, just 2025, already 4. The season's not even over yet. We have 7 games left. 0 last year, 2 in 2023, 3 in 2022, once in 2021, twice in 2020, 1 in 19 and 1 in 18. I mean, the fact that the season's not even over yet, we could still have, who knows when December could be up to. I mean, obviously, we don't see any more than that with this next 7 games to go, but still, that's rough. I mean, and I've seen a lot of, and it kind of goes with the theme of the week that I've heard from all like the media and everyone online, just saying that we're not a clutch team offensively, but then it's coming to the defensive side and say, okay, well, defense is also not playing clutch either as of right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, this right here, when you look at what they're converting on, Justin Herbert, 19 yards for 3rd and 14. 3rd and 14, you shoot. You definitely shouldn't be able to give that up. Hurts to Smith for 28 yards. I remember that. I remember all these plays. Nixon Sutton for 3rd and 15. I was just like, how are we not, stopping the deep dig route? Like you should know 3rd and 15, you keep everything in front of you, and everybody comes up. Keep everything in front of you, then you come up and come play, okay? You sink back in your zone, in your areas. And so you should be able to occupy that. Heck, if anything, if also as a corner, you should be riding this guy. It shouldn't be that easy. Shoot, you put your hands on him or something, just, to disrupt it. But guys got to be able to recognize the routes that's being ran, okay? Especially when it's 3rd and long like this. You know what they're going for. You know where the sticks are. And so everybody knows situational football. Everybody should know exactly where they are. But, yeah. And I want to say, I want to know if Marcus, how many times we ran blitz on these things? Was blitz on this? I know it went on that Knicks to Sutton on 3rd and 15. Definitely went on that. And I don't think it's for the night for that one too, for the Justin Herbert 19 yards for 3rd and 14 either. I mean, where's the blitz? with a blitz. So sometimes what happens is, look, yeah, pass rush is part of it, no doubt. You bring 4, nobody's hitting home. Well, you got 7 in coverage, right? You should be sinking everybody back. You know where the sticks are. Keep everything in front of you. Shoot, cover everything deep. Keep everybody in front of you. Let the running back catch from 1, 5 yards. You come up and come make a tackle, make a play. Okay, everybody rallies to the football at that point. So that's a bad stat to watch.
And one thing I will say, as far as this, the team we're playing against, right? Like they have a good run blocking offensive line, but the last 2 weeks, specifically that last week against the Atlanta Falcons before they had the bye week,
yeah,
Atlanta's not that good of a defense, but they were still able to get back there. They were blitzing a hell of a lot. And they were playing man on them and press it, which is what we love to do. But they were blitzing the heck out of me. They had 5 sacks against them. And the week prior against the Steelers, and I know Steelers have a TJ Watt's a little different. They can kind of get pass rush with the guys up front without having a blitz. But they had 7 sacks in that game. So, and then 7 in that game, and then 5 against the Falcons, who were just blitzing a crap ton that game. 12 sacks in the last 2 games. So there is opportunity for Spags to kind of dial up something here. And I know Spags taking a lot of crap this week for the numbers and the way Bo Nix was able to do what he wanted to do last week against us, and specifically in that fourth quarter, which I don't think is fair, because I thought for the most part of that game, I thought the defense played pretty well in that game. Yeah, we haven't been able to get the pressure, but like they were putting some really ugly opportunities. And we said yesterday that special teams gave up 3 points essentially, but they were able to stop in the red zone and keep that game close for as much as possible. But in the end of the game, when the offense had 2 times, once with the lead and once when it was tied, and to go 3 and out and punt it, the defense kept going back on the field. And I mean, you're bound to break if you keep going out there.
You take away a few of those big plays, right? Like at 30, 15 right there. Of course, the one at the end, to get in field goal range. And then the one that Fulton completely missed, the jam on, and just running past. You like, man, these guys didn't really do a whole lot. And that's what I was sitting there saying. And that's when I was making that point. And I'm telling the Broncos fans, I'm like, look, I think we're just a better team overall, top to bottom. I guess. Okay, you got Patrick Surtain. Okay, we know how good Pat is. All right. But we got Trent McDuffie. Okay. We know you got a good defensive lineman. Chris Jones, we got other guys to help nullify those things. So we want to say overall team and scope. I do believe the Chiefs are a much better team than Denver Broncos. Much more talented team. They got a good defense, we understand, but they rely on that defense to get pressure. It's the guys up front. After you go from there, everything else looks pretty, okay. Y'all about average dudes out here. Seriously. And heck, we let Bo Nix hit those last ones like that. They had him as being the second coming of daggone John Elway. I'm like, what? I like Bo Nix, but he ain't quite there yet. Okay. I'm like, and the thing, what do you say when you lose, right? What do you say?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right, you got us. But he's still whatever.
You say that your coach would trade his next 10 first round picks for Patrick Mahomes is what you say.
Yeah.
you would empty the cupboard for Patrick Mahomes. So guys, relax. Yeah, there was one comment that this week was like, yeah, it was right after the game. It was a Broncos fan commenting on our channel. It was like, yep, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson had their day. The next guys are up. Drake May, Bo Nix. I was okay. I was like Drake May is in a tier by himself. Okay, don't try to say Bo Nix is with Drake May. There's different levels, buddy. Bo Nix is not on Drake May's level yet, buddy. Not even.
Right. Come on, man.
But yeah, and I do think Daniel Jones, like he did start out the season strong, but like we have seen this guy, and there's ample sample size of Daniel Jones. When we even played against him a couple years ago on Monday night, that was a close game, but we were able to kind of neutralize Daniel Jones. And I don't think Daniel Jones is anything special. I think he is a beneficiary of having a great run game. And the guy we're going to have on in the next 15 minutes here, that guy's going to be one of the guys to stopping his dynamic weapon is Jonathan Taylor. And I think if you neutralize the run game and you make Daniel Jones beat us, and like Atlanta did, like they blitz the heck out of him, I think that's what you do. That's what you neutralize 28 and you just come right after Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. And then, like I said, they got some talented receivers. They got a good tight end. You got to stop those guys too. Them jokers ain't chop liver. That's for daggone sure. They can beat you deep. They got some big bodies on the outside.
They do.
Hey.
Alec Pierce is even good. I mean, he's in a contract here. He's playing out of his mind. Michael Pittman Jr., who I think is one of the more underrated receivers in the league.
No question. I told, some of my boys on the field, right? I said, I think the Colts, man, are for real. Because the question was like, who's pretenders, who's for real? And the question was between the Colts and the Patriots. And I said, my money's on the Colts. The Colts are for real. So they got Sauce, Jonathan Taylor and those guys. I think the Patriots, look, they're a good team, but I do believe, when you watch, some of the people they played and stuff, I mean, they pulled some games out, right? They have. But I said, man, this Colts team is for real. They got a good mix of guys. They got a good offense. Big Buck, man, not being there hurts them. Like I said, that's a hoss. So.
Yeah, and they're going to be without him for the next they put him on the IR on November 7th. So he has to at least miss 4 games. Mm-hmm. That's what they won the Falcons game at the bye week. So this is their second game without him. So it's gonna be tough, and this is gonna be another test to see how they can do without him. And the first game without him, Algier and Bijan, they both tore him up. I mean, Algier had 11 for 50 something yards that game. Bijan had 17 for 80, I think. So they are in the middle of that defense. I think there's definitely an opportunity for Kareem to eat this week, and also too. I know Pacheco practiced today. It's not very often you see a running back playing a game with a brace like that. Do you think he's going to play this week?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's good for him to just get out there, with the team and get a little work in. But I highly doubt it because the brace I saw him wearing, you ain't gonna be able to cut that much with that.
Not at all.
Full speed ahead, and of course. Having having MCL strain and tear or whatever it is. It's really kind of what it is. It takes time, but that's your cutting. That is your cutting. And that sucker is painful. So you can try to calm it down and stuff like that. It's usually, like I said, it's usually like a 4 to 6 week kind of injury, depending on how bad of a grade of a injury it is. So.
Yeah, with Buckner, not what you were.
No, I'll just say I seen that brace. I like, heck no, shoot.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying oh man, Pacheco's going to play, and I saw the video. I'm like, that guy, he's not playing with that thing. If that's, but you're right. It's good to see him back out there. And then Worthy tweaked his ankle during walkthrough today. Obviously, he's having ongoing issues with that ankle that he's had problems with. Is that a big red flag that he tweaked it during a walkthrough? Or, there's also the guy who went on an airplane and then he came off the plane with the swollen ankle a couple weeks ago. So, what do you think the chances of him playing this week? Because he didn't practice. He did the walkthrough, that hurt his ankle, and then did not practice in the afternoon.
No, I think it looks good. I think he'll be fine. Sometimes you just got to make it calm down a little bit. It's not like you got to get into shape. He knows the offense. If he's able to get out there on Friday, do some things, then he'll be fine. So probably today was just a precautionary day. If he tweaked it a little bit, it's like, okay, fine, just, chill out. We don't need for you to do anything. We just tell about the little tweak. Maybe tomorrow, you kind of see where you are with everything. And then Friday, we'll see how it goes. But we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Everybody's been talking about Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton could provide some of those things. And not only him, but Hollywood Brown. We got receivers. We got guys. So we should be all right with that.
No, definitely the depth in that wide receiver room is fantastic. And JD, I know it was a big video we had this past week talking about the film review where you went over the deep ball. And a lot of people, I don't think, even thought of the stuff you were saying, which is amazing because that's who you are, and you dissect stuff and you see stuff that most other people don't see. But Mahomes talked about his deep throws in his press conference today. I wanted to share that with our people here. Okay.
Common denominators in particular on some of the deep passes that you haven't connected on?
Yeah, I'm just not making the throws. Is pretty much the biggest thing. Guys are getting open and giving me chances to make the plays down the field. I give them chances to make plays. And I mean, if you look at the one to Tyquan later in the game, it wasn't necessarily the best thrown ball, but it gave him a chance. And I think that's something that I can learn from with guys like Xavier's early, is that it might not be the perfect pass that's going to be a touchdown and catch like that, but if I can throw the ball and just give him a chance to make a play, he'll make the play on it, and then he can make the play and score a touchdown from there. So being better there and giving guys chances usually works out.
That play in particular, the Xavier one, are you seeing the same angle he's running? Is he running where you fully anticipate him to go, or is that a little bit of just getting more and more on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, the angle stuff is one thing. I think what I've learned from just playing for a while now is that those deep passes, like I said, those deep passes don't have to be perfect. I think we always want to make the perfect throw, but if he wins like that, you can flatten his angle. You could throw the ball with more air underneath it, and then he can adjust. And that's why he is the player that he is. And so why not give him that opportunity and try to throw the ball perfectly down the field? And it looks awesome when it happens, but then obviously there's more misses than there is completions. And so if you look at the best deep ball throwers in the league and in the history of the NFL, they weren't always just these perfectly thrown balls, but they were giving guys chances, and they were going out there and making plays.
So, JD, what are your thoughts on what Pat had to say there about the deep ball?
What I heard is, let me give him a chance. Now, when Pat is letting go for the home run ball, he's thinking in his mind, Xavier Worthy's catching this in stride, and it's going to look pretty. That's what he's looking for. And he's saying, well, okay, maybe I got to take a little bit off of it and just give him a chance to catch the football. If the defender catches up to him, then fine. We'll take, the 60-yard throw as opposed to the one that's going to look pretty. And so that's what I heard. And Pat he's the type of leader that he's going to put everything on his shoulders. He ain't going to throw nobody under the bus. That's his character. And so, somebody said it starts with Pat. Pat said it starts with me. So if it's not one of those where I'm airing it out, which he believes he's not going to throw one, he said it looking pretty. It looked pretty. We didn't let this sucker go. It looked pretty in there. And he's believing Xavier Worthy's full speed on this thing. It's going to look, like one of the beautiful deep balls that he's wanted to throw. The same one he threw in the Super Bowl to Xavier Worthy, the same one Xavier Worthy called against the Chargers. He knows what those deep balls to Xavier Worthy looks like when he's wide open, catching it. And so Pat is like, that was the opportunity. I thought that was going to be it. Hey, shoot. He's like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll take a little bit off, throw it to him. Defender can get on him, then let him just score after that. Okay? Let him try to get around the defender after that one. Same thing in Tyquan. Tyquan throw that one. He said, man, it wasn't the perfect ball, the prettiest ball. Tyquan just made a good play on it. I watched the play today, and I'm sitting there thinking, why did Pat throw this ball?
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm like, geez. Okay. But Tyquan pulls up and catches it. And the reality is this, Marcus. When you come out of your break, okay, catching the deep ball as a receiver, okay, and I coached wide receivers 2 years in college, okay, all right. I would say when you haul tail to get a deep ball, it's always easier, just like in baseball, it's always easier to come back to the ball. It's always easier to pull up as opposed to trying to speed up at the end. You learn that. You know it for a long time. Heard it time and time again. It's always easier to pull up as opposed to trying to speed up toward the end to try to go get it. So when you watch the guys in the outfield, okay, they looking at a ball when it takes off, something take off, open up, right? And then they know they gauge it, catch a flight, they come up, and they're already in their throwing motion. Same thing in football. When you looking, you come out of the break and you are digging, you are wide open, right? And you catch it a little bit later. It's timing in this. It's timing in these deep balls. And so sometimes Pat is saying, look, if I just kind of throw it up, Tyreek was able to make adjustments at the end. He'll throw it up. Tyreek can run around you and make a jump over you. Like you know what I'm saying? He just had that ability to
Do something else.
Do something else. It was like unbelievable, right? Because he just throw it up and Tyreek would just make an adjustment. So he's expecting the same thing from these guys, right? And when I showed the film, there is a little pull up. Pat is throwing to a spot. Pat is like, hey, I could throw it here, make it a little bit easier for the guys to go get it. Shoot. Then if they want to make a more contested ball for that, fine. Pat was like, I'm laying this thing out there so it can be pretty. He's catching this thing in stride. It looks beautiful. It's going to be probably one of the best deep balls that we've seen this year. A couple of them. We hit those in the games. Then we know, and teams know, we can do this every single trip. But we miss it. And so he said, yeah, I maybe need to take a little bit off. I know Xavier's fast. But if I need to take a little bit off, now, okay, I'll do that. So, man, that's what I heard. And I hear Pat navigating what he's saying to make it like, sure, I can do that.
Right.
You know, we talk about it. So if he could say a little bit could be on me, right? Because I'm expecting to come out this digging. You know, when I'm expecting, when you're the deep ball guy, you get over to up, on top of your defender, then you track the ball, but you got to track the ball like almost full speed. You can't slow down. And I would always say, and I always see the wide receiver coaches, and 1-2, when you turn around like this, you slow down. It's natural. It's what the body naturally does. So we used to talk about it all the time. This is constant coaching that I would hear all the time. Constant coaching from offensive coordinator, Al Saunders, from Charlie Joyner, who was with him. So Al was out there with Dan Fouts and all those guys for, Air Coryell. They talking about letting it fly. That's why Air Coryell, yes. Kellen Winslow and those guys, let it go. Give you guys a shot. When he's talking about throwing the ball to Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, let it fly. That's what you do. That's hey man, we're gonna open the door up. That's what we're gonna do. And Pat's like, yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. If I need to take a little bit off, we could talk about it, get these guys right. Sure, let's just make the play, and then we'll move forward from it. But he expected it. He expected the guys to make the plays, and I'm sure they expected it too, man. Time's a little off. It's things you got to work on. It's timing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people think that Worley's playing with the hurt ankle and that's affecting his speed potentially. But I mean, on that play, I mean he burned that dude. I mean he was open.
Yeah, he was. And what I said is, and this is me as a coach, I would ask my guys, man, hey, you run at corner down even more, give him a little bit more to the outside, a hard stick, and now open up you out of here, right? And then catch the flight of the ball. But when you hit that stick, you hit that angle, you are digging. Now you catch the ball on the flight in the air, right? And that should be easy money. That's pay dirt at that point. But maybe a little weave, and then coming out of it, he's like tracking the ball like you should, right? and you just kind of naturally slow down. But then he's trying to catch up, and it's like, dang God. Just, deep balls, man, sometimes you ain't going to get them.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like most of our deep balls have been underthrown, right? The Hollywood bomb in the Bills game, the Chargers one, but that was also a broken play where he heaved it up to him. He was just back there sitting by himself. The one against the Ravens where he connected with Worthy on, that was more. I think Worthy had a layout for that one. Yeah. That wasn't an underthrow. That was just that was this close to not being catch there, but he had a layout for it. Tyquan's bomb in the Giants game, that was also that was kind of an underthrow-ish. The Tyquan bomb in the Eagles game, that was that seemed like more. That was more on target there. That was more in stride, wasn't it?
You said the Eagles game?
The bomb he threw in the Eagles game. I feel like that one was on stride. The one that got broken up, that was the one that was more. I think that was more the underthrow. But I feel like the one he caught for the bomb was more in stride.
Yeah, and this is what you want to catch him in stride. I'll tell you what I did. Matter of fact, y'all go check it out. I went on YouTube last night, and I was watching deep ball throws from last year. Very interesting when you watch it.
Well, you see it. Do you see a change in mechanics?
Well, I'm just talking about like through the entire NFL, like all teams.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I tell you who had the connection. What it looked like was I don't know, was that sucker down there in New Orleans, Carr throwing to Shaheed.
He did. They did have a pretty good connection last year, and he also had a good connection with MVS too last year as well.
Man, and I'm telling you, when you watch Shaheed full speed, that's the way it looks. Same thing in Nico Collins. He caught like at full speed and full stride. Bam. You know who catches those balls like that too in full stride sometimes? Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at, the deep ball receivers, you look how those guys run, because my mind, I'm always, okay, JD, am I saying this right? Am I making sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I know what I'm talking about. If I'm watching film, I can see like your gait change. Okay. I watch too much film. I know too much football. I know how it's taught, how it's coached. I coached it. And I'm sitting there saying, man. And so you could talk about it, but yet, and it's like this, like, dang God. Yeah, he can kind of put it on you. But, sometimes you might slow up a little bit. And so you talk it out. You got to have these conversations. When you sitting over at 7-on-7, when you sitting quarterbacks and wide receivers and all the receivers, running backs, tight ends and all that, you talk these things out when you're watching it on field, 7-on-7. And then Pat is talking to Worthy, and Worthy's talking to Pat. Same thing to Tyquan, and he's letting them all know, hey, listen, I just need to give y'all a chance. Okay? Just need to give you a chance. So.
Well, I mean, we'll see. And this is a secondary to take deep shots at bottom 8 in the league right now. So this is a good game to see those deep shots again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all right, it's time. Our special guest, Big Mike Pennel, is waiting in our green room, so to speak. He's back there waiting to come in. Guys, this is he's a second stint on the show for Mike Pennel. His third stint in Kansas City, and we are so happy that he is back in Kansas City, and we are so happy he is back on the show tonight on his Wednesday evening, joining us. Let's bring in Mike Pennel.
Okay,
I think it looks like it's loading.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see, maybe in a second here. Okay, maybe not. Here, let me text him. All right. Mike, you there, buddy? All right. Well, it's technical difficulties. It can be fun sometimes.
I've been there before, man.
We all have.
No problem. No problem.
No problem at all. Seeing a lot of people in the chat right now. Yep, Mike will be here shortly, guys. I see a lot of people are excited for the Mike to grace his presence on the show. All right. I'm in. I can't hear or see anyone. Okay, let me go to a commercial break. Yeah, Greg, we'll do that.
You got it. But what Mike is loading into this. But this is a quality of a leader, Marcus. This is quality. Just talking about Pat. It's the quality of a leader. Of seeing if there's something that everybody's not on the same page. It's sitting there saying, we need to get this thing fixed.
Okay. There we go.
There he is. Sorry about that, Mike.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys.
You're good, man.
All right, man. That's all right. Yeah, man. Yo, you in another country, man? You decided to take off on us again?
Oh, no. We're right here in Kansas City. We're right here in Kansas City.
That's my brother, man. Hey, Big Mike, good to see you again, my brother.
Good to see you too.
Man. Yeah, no doubt, man. So we finally got you back on here. You know, hey, look, you know over here, Chief Concerns, man, how we feel about you. We love you. And so this whole journey that you've taken this past year, you know, how it turned out, how it looked. I just said it looks like they did the right thing, man, right the ship, getting you back here like they should have.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to say it, but I'll say it. I'm like, man, they never should have let you walk out the building. Okay? All right. So they can talk to me. They get on me all they want to. Okay. All right. Yeah, like, they'll see me in December if they won't let me in the building. I'm like, oh, okay.
Trying to tell you.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all good, man. Now, but now seriously, I tell you what, it was really disappointing to us because obviously because for who you are, what you bring, your experience, how everybody feels about you. You know, you big brother, everybody there. You're the guy that jokes with everyone. Probably everybody gravitates towards you. You're the vet, you're the guru. That's what I always talk about, man. You know what I'm saying? You like the Shaolin monk that's sitting up there, you know, with the staff and everybody comes see with the long beard, right? Right? That's who you are, man. And so I'm like, you don't get rid of that guy. That's not the guy you get rid of, okay? And so however it worked and it moved to where it was, they got you over to Cincinnati, man. I'm telling you, you probably had to take about 10 baths to get that kitty smell off of you for a long time.
Yeah, man. It was you know, this year had definitely been the most unique year of my NFL experience for sure. You know, at the end of the day, it's a business. So when things, you know, happen as they happen after the preseason, I mean, I was just as shocked as everyone. But, you know, like we said, you got to sometimes take the emotions out of it. And it's a business at the time. And, you know, certain people's mind changes at certain times in the season. And, you know, you may need to see other things. So, you know, I was just grateful at that time for the opportunity to be able to, you know, play week 1 for Cincinnati and be able to get, you know, the credit of the season, play 12 years and, you know, try to continue to play good ball over there and things like that. And, you know, fortunately enough, it happened to work out and, you know, how life works and everything like that, making the way back here, just, you know, it's been a crazy one, man. It's been a crazy one.
Did you, now I know like the transition, obviously from, you know, from Kansas City to Cincinnati, you know, I know a lot of guys up there, you know, I go up there for the union deals, of course. So I get on those guys all the time, man. They're my Bengals brothers. You know, I almost ragging them all the time. It never fails. But did your transition, like you hadn't sold your place, like you were still like, okay, man, I'm trying to wrap my head around everything. And, you know, how'd that turn out, man, as far as?
Man, it was just, you know, once you get at this point in your career, year 12, these things that happen in your career are more drastic and more effective to your outside life than people would even know. So, I mean, when it first happened, it makes you question yourself. You got to talk to your agent, you got to talk to your family, you got to, see how your kids feel about the situation. So there was a lot of thought processes on what I was going to do, if I was going to stay a certain place, if I was going to just be done with it, if I was going to continue. But, thankfully, my support system, everything that I had, even my agents were just like, nah, this isn't really the end. So, I just know at my standpoint, how I felt where I was at and, everything that I did, I just couldn't, come back on P Squad, man. I wanted to help with my brothers. I wanted to play with my brothers. But, at this point, I just didn't feel that way about myself. So, and like I said, it's a business. So, if the opportunity wasn't there and it was somewhere else, that just was what it had to be at the time. So, now it's about, what the hardest part is relearning, a whole playbook and then relearning somebody else's playbook, then coming back. So, that's more the thing, just, as D lineman, you want to get comfortable, you want to get in the rhythm, you know what I'm saying? There's certain teams that you play so long that, it's kind of like playing against Buffalo, you know them like the back of your hand, you play them enough, so it's boom. Then, you get to Denver and it's different schemes, they got different stuff for us, they take that stuff out. So, but, for me, it's about just playing consistently well, you know what I mean? That's what I want to do, not up and down. So I think, this next game for me, I really, will get back to just playing me, be more comfortable, be back in Arrowhead and just, turn all this outside noise out, man. I mean, I get it. I understand. But when I tell you inside that locker room is just the same and there's no unwavering in anybody's eyes in that locker room and any players. So we're excited for the challenge. So, we're kind of used to this position now, kind of being like, good guy, bad guys in the media. I mean, you know how the NFL works. It's week by week. Every 7 days, it's a different story. Yeah. So, 1 week you're the greatest slice of bread. The next week, the sky is falling. And that's what Coach Reed does an excellent job of. He always keeps us even keel. He always keeps us what the goals are. You'll never see anybody wavering in that building. For many of the coaches, Spags, the position coaches, anyone like that. Everybody has the same objective. So I know, a lot of us, we got a sour taste in our mouth about Denver. Got a sour taste, and I think it's going to be, no losses, are ever good in this league at all, especially when you played it at the highest level and you play for the Kansas City Chiefs. But, I know that everybody's going to respond really well. And sometimes, you need something like this to respond to, a little bit of adversity, a little bit of, not everybody patting you on the back to, turn it up. So I'm excited for Sunday. I'm excited.
Man, it's almost like you feel alive because you do have this type of challenge, right? That your back is against the wall.
Absolutely.
So you want, people are counting you out, and like I was telling Mark, got on, some people abandon the ship. Hey,
it's a nice cruise line too. The ship been rolling. We've been doing a world tour for a while, so it's crazy, Yeah.
Now the lifeboats.
Yeah.
I think Will Compton was like, "Oh, yeah, the Titanic is sinking." I was
yeah.
I'm like, I said, man, you know what? I said, don't worry. He gonna be one of those who's gonna sit back and watch this thing happen, right, the way it's supposed to. And I said, if the guys can't be ready for this, and I said, if anything, I always defer to the guys that's been to the Super Bowls, who's won the AFC championships, who's done this thing before, who's got the best coaches, the best players to put this family together. I'll always defer to you all. I said, I'm not going, why would you count these guys out? Now, look, I've been a player, bro.
You played the game. Yeah.
Absolutely. I know exactly how it feels. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm looking at my brother right beside me. Ain't nobody got no quit in them. It ain't how we built. We're not built like that. And so the outside noise and all of that, man, that don't even come into, into the frame to even think about, right? And so when you say that, are y'all being told, man, stay off social media and all? When I was in college, when I was college coach, I was like, look, man, don't social media, don't put none of it, leave all that alone. Don't get in no arguments with these people. These people don't know what they're talking about. All you need to focus on is what you need to focus on. So,
I mean, I think the good thing about our locker room is a lot of guys are repeat guys. So Coach Reed doesn't have to have a separate conversation about that type of thing, about the outside noise, good or bad or ever different. No one rides too high, no one rides too low with what they hear on the outside world. But for the younger guys when they come in, and that's with any team, they're kind of social media is a new day and age. It's something that's real prevalent, something that they're looking at all the time. It's really crazy now, like now that I'm like a veteran and 12 years in, I'm looking at guys, I'm like, bro, like I just go watch film, talk to my kids, and go to sleep. You guys are on Instagram, Call of Duty, doing that. Like I just don't have that energy in me no more. So it's just like to see that, it's good. But I mean, the younger guys, they hang around the vets. So everybody's good at, bringing everybody along, not letting nobody be down, not letting anybody be negative. It was one game and we got to climb. And I think everybody's ready to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a little bit about just this past game. Okay?
Mhm.
Now, y'all understand what's at stake.
Mhm.
People are asking me like, hey, man, is this a desperation game? Is this a must-win game? I said, I don't think it's a must-win game. I said, I think guys understand the gravity of the situation. I said, one thing you don't want to become is you don't want to become desperate. Because you become desperate, you become careless. And so when you become careless, you lose. And so you don't want to come out of character who you are, right? Because that's what got you to where you've been in Super Bowls over and over again. Yeah, you need to go back to the history of who these guys are. Like you said, there's a lot of repeat guys, right?
Mhm.
Shoot, your boy, hey, Chris Jones, politicking. Hey, man, we got to get my boy Mike back here, right? He knows it. He's like, look, I know I got me a warrior beside me. Mike's going to be that guy. I got to have the beats. You know what I'm saying? He's walking through the locker rooms with no shirt on, you know what I'm saying? Sleeveless, D-bone, everybody. We got to have Mike in here, man. We got to have that energy. So, but this Denver game, kind of for you all, I mean, was there a point, man, with y'all sitting there just where you had to challenge each other on the sideline? Everybody came together. It was like, look, this is what needs to happen.
And to be honest, I don't think there was like a big moment like that within the players. I mean, the coaches throughout the game kept everything normal, but everybody's just been there. You know what I mean? And it was, if no one was panicking on the sideline or anything like that, everybody thought we was in it until the last drive. You know what I mean? There's plenty of things. I mean, there's plenty of things that all of us as competitors on the team wish we could have did better. There's plenty of plays that I wish I had back. There's plenty of plays that everybody on the defense wish they had back. There's plenty of players on the offense wish they had back. But everybody is so, you kind of get spoiled by success, man. And when you put the work in and it consistently has been working for years, sometimes when things, don't happen like this or go this way, you're kind of like, wait, what? Like that, we've done this. We put in the work. We did this. But, sometimes it's one or two plays, sometimes one or two calls that, you can't control. And that's just where we're playing at now. We're being in close games. You know what I mean? That's just where it's at. Now with this last game, we're, it was a team that we matched up well against. You know what I mean? We've been playing them. They know us. We know them. We knew the gravity of the situation. I don't think anyone, and that's kind of like the crazy thing kind of outside world is where it's like, oh, yeah, we know this is a must-win. No, every game for us is a must-win. We don't go into any game thinking that, oh, it's okay to lose this game. No. I mean, this is the Denver Broncos. We're itching to get back when we get back to it. And, so we can't wait for that. So, but it was just unfortunate that, we couldn't pull that one out at the end. It was, a lot of things went wrong, a lot of things, that we could have did different. But I know that the drive and the focus in the locker room this week and, the intent that everybody came out of practice at least today, it's going to look different.
It's good. It's good. Marcus, you
Yeah, no, I plan to ask Mike, but Mike, we talked throughout the entire situation, the process from training camp to now. And one thing that I don't know if you felt this before, but like when that situation happened, and you saw pretty much everybody tweeting about what the hell, Mike, we need to bring Mike back. We need to bring Mike back. I mean, obviously you have a lot of love for Chiefs Kingdom, but like, how'd that make you feel just to hear that everyone's like, Veach, what are you doing, man? You signed this guy, bring him back now. What are you doing? How'd that make you feel just to see all those the things on social media? Because all the time, social media is negative, but in this case, it was very, very, very positive for you, Mike.
Yeah, that was during that time, man. That was real. That made me feel real. I love Chiefs Kingdom, man. You know what I mean? And that unwavering support was like one of the bright spots of going through that time. But it kind of just at that point, bro, just kind of made me feel like, it was just surreal at that point because, as an athlete, there's one guarantee in this sport. Well, a couple. You're gonna walk away with a little limp, maybe something like that, but you're gonna get fired one day. So and if you're undrafted and you play for a lot of teams, it's happened more than once. You know what I mean? So you kind of know why this is happening, do this, do that, and this was just a time where I genuinely was just like, man, what's going on? Let me run back through here. Let me do this. Let me do that, and then seeing all that too is kind of like, man, I had to shut off my phone for a couple of days because it was like, bro, like I want to do this, but I can't do this how I feel like I'm supposed to do it, and so just had to take time, work on myself, um, lock in, hone in, even when I was over there. And that's why I'm just, I know there's a rivalry in Cincinnati, but I'm so appreciative of those guys over there in the front office and the players because they really embraced me and took me in, you know what I mean, until it got to where the point that it got to. But yeah, man, that just really, and it's always felt like, it wasn't going away for a reason. So I was just like, this could happen if it does happen. And then just, it worked out.
And there was a giant celebration when it did happen.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we got to get this win though, man. I can't come back and not get a win. Like that's it's keeping me up late at night right now. So we're gonna get there. Trust me, I'm feeling it too.
Well, man, look, y'all forging yourself in the fire. Was there anybody in Cincinnati? I was telling one of my boys the other time. I said, man, I was playing Dallas. And I was going down to tackle Dion on punt, right? And I had Gunner peeled off and caught me. I said, man, I chased that sucker for 2 years. And then when he came up as a free agent to Philly, right? Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to, show him around the city and stuff. And so when he comes in, I was like, yo, man. I said, man, you hit me on Monday Night Football. He's like, man, that was you. I said, man.
Oh, yeah, you'll never forget that.
I said, did somebody was like, yo, man, we locked horns a couple of times, Big Mike. Like, guys bring you to the program, like you said, in Cincinnati. I know Orlando Brown's there and, a couple of dudes and stuff like that, man. But usually guys are pretty easy in the league. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
You're the best spots. So you know how it goes, though. But was there anybody who was like, yeah, Mike, like, I'm glad you're over here. I had to go against you anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was pretty good open reception because we battled back and forth. Joe Burrow and Orlando and Ted Karras over there. They was real welcoming and everything like that. So it was a very different, surreal experience, though, for sure. It was very different and surreal. Yeah.
But there was one thing when that whole situation happened, like at the end, right, where you reportedly requested to leave Cincinnati, and then within 24 hours you're on a plane to Kansas City. The next morning you go for a visit, and then by noon you're on the field with your jersey. And like I made a comment saying that like people can say what they want about athletes, how they make tons of money and all this stuff, but like most people, like and when you leave a job, you go to a next job, usually want to get 2 weeks in to yourself before you can go to the next job. But like 24 hours have you gone by, you're already on a field with your jersey ready to go the next day. And I was like, man, like just athletes are built different.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that's why it's been more complex and more trying season. But just my support system, man. And at the end of the day, football is football, and I'm very intentional, very strong in my faith, and I really believe that the universe is talking to you, and there's signs that things that you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be doing them. And leaving Cincinnati after my release, I didn't know what I was going to do after that point. The plan was to take some time. I was like, I might just need just a week, kick it with the kids, just figure out everything. Then, once it hit the air that I was a free agent, opportunities came up, and fortunately enough, this opportunity came up. So it's like, what are we talking about here? I mean, for me, playing 12 years, the success I've had here, the things that I want to do, in this uniform, regardless of what happens, whether, being on the team, being on the team, I always want to make sure that I play good ball, leave my imprint, and be a part of this dynasty in a positive light, and just, be able to continue to do so. So I'm definitely thankful that I'm able to, do this year with my boys. The beginning part, hopefully we can erase that off and laugh about it later, but it's just a real, it's an honor. Players don't get to do this, man. I don't think there's many players that come back somewhere 3 times. I don't even So with that, I'm even grateful for that, and just being able to play with, players that you've won with, people that you talk to. These are my brothers, you know what I mean? So it's just, it's just different. It's just different, man. This is home.
look, it's a testament to who you are, though, Mike. I mean, let's just be honest here, right? The number of guys that play in the NFL, like you said, it is a privilege. Guys that they go out there and constantly try to get jobs and all these different things, but they know what they have in you. That's the thing about it. And I'll say this, you know, we know what's business, NFL business, but it doesn't always make it right. It doesn't. And sometimes business is sucky. It really is. And so I get, you know, what you know, teams do and they got to do it. Okay, I got it. Okay, whatever. But there is something that touches you, right?
Absolutely.
Like I thought it meant a little bit more to you than that. And so when you don't want to get in your feels, right? You're like, okay, it is business. I get, and you know, they kind of glad hand you and slap you on the back, push you on out the door, and hey, man, I appreciate it. And, you know, it's like, hey, okay.
And I mean, and I think you understand that more in you know, being a player. To play this game at your highest level, to give everything you have to be emotionally invested.
Yes.
It's one of the most, you know, complex things that even I still, you know, being a 12-year vet, have a hard time explaining even to a younger player. Because me personally, I feel as if, you know, if at those biggest moments, the biggest stage, the biggest games, you have to be tapped in emotionally. You have to be fully invested. You have to be enthralled. You have to be obsessed with the game at that point. And you can't half-step it. You can't have like your heart in it. You're not going to go work out on your own if you don't love it. So, you know what I mean? It's just when those times come, you know, unfortunately you have to separate it. You know what I mean? And that has nothing to do with, you know, when you separate it, that has nothing to do with like your love of the game.
Right.
You know, you have to understand, and that's where a lot of guys, you know, a lot of guys wouldn't continue. A lot of guys wouldn't, you know, go to all these places and do all that. But for me, you know, this has been my dream and my goal since I was 5 years old, and everything that I've talked about and I've done, I've been shown and I've done that in this league. So it's hard to sit here and say like, oh, this is hard or I can't do this or something like that. It's another challenge, you know. So when this happened for me, I was just like, yeah, I'm a little older. After once that happened, you know, I had to go to team. I was like, bro, I'm going to play 2 more years. Like now I'm going to say they put a new battery in my back. Like now I have to because they think this way. So, you know, I mean, and it is great in the building now, man. You know, we're real candy about it. It's real motivating. You know, the energy is exactly the same as when I left, so it's real awesome. You know, be able to come back into that fold. But you know, you always need something as an athlete to keep you going. Whether that's, you know, how you started or where you're going and things like that. But me being an undrafted free agent for 12 years, and you know. You understand being that free agent. You're always doubted. Every year you're doubted. You have to earn your spot every year. It doesn't matter what position you're in. You're an undrafted free agent. Every single year you have to earn your spot. Yeah. And I take pride in that. It's been on multiple teams and it's been this long. So I'm just going to continue that for sure.
I tell you, man, it's wild because when you leave and you see somebody else with your jersey on, you're like, man, they moved on real quick, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy, man. I love the fans too. And I never interact negatively and that. But man, some fans were like, "Why'd you leave us?" And I had to say, "Man, I did it. What are y'all talking about? I didn't want to go nowhere." But you know, it just. How everything went about, and you know that also, you know, plays into your psyche and helps you motivate and just, you know, gives you a little resurgence. You know what I mean? And for me, man, you know, I've been in so many situations in my football career where it's been back against the wall or have to go here to do this, or if you do this, you do that. Now it's just, you know, another part in the journey, man. It's going to make for a hell of a story, though. I know that. It's going to make for a hell of a story.
Man, tell them, man, when you're telling your grandkids and great-grandkids about, like, like they said, man, 12 years of the NFL, man, the accomplishment. I don't think people realize how hard it is to get there. You know, same thing, year 12 for me. And I got released by the Chiefs, and I was just like, okay, all right, shoot, what am I doing? And I was right there like you. Same thing in limbo. What am I going to do now? And I got a call, man, from Sean Payton. Sean Payton, the head, we was down there in New Orleans. They was like, hey, man, JD, come on down here. Now, I knew Sean in Philly, you know, because he came in. He was a quarterback's coach at the time.
I remember that, yeah.
He was boys back then. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you up there, and I was just like, yo, man, do I go down there? I was like, do I really want to do this? You know what I mean? It's like that, like you said.
That's where that comes in there, yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I was at a good place with myself, Mike. I was a good place. And I had to be at a good place because, you know, I had gotten hurt 2 years before that. You know, I had a back injury and nobody's had a back injury, man. People don't quite understand, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a every step thing. Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I
Yeah.
was, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm good where I'm at. And so I told him, I said, look, but just keep me on the horn. I might change. So they was like, look, JD, the door is always open for you. And it gave me all the way to that next year, all the way to the next year. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm straight. And so,
I think that's what do they call that? That's a very Warriors samurai ending right there. That's
yeah,
definitely what I would love to see, to where it's like, it's there, but I'm good. But
right.
I just, as an athlete, as a competitor, man, you feel that you can't leave no more meat on the bone, man. You just gotta, it's almost, yeah. That's why it's almost like a thing where you have to prove it to yourself. Where like athletes already know, where you're always just, competing and improving with your own mentality and things like that. So it's just, yeah, when you come in, you think about the beginning, everything that's going on. He hit it on the head right there. Yeah, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this. Okay.
Mhm.
With all the emotion that you've gone through just right now, this season, how do you take that now and you meld it into the guys that's there in the locker room, right?
Mhm.
I'm talking about challenge, not only just yourself, because I don't think they see a guy who's seasoned. And I think that's what you want them to understand. Like you're a seasoned guy, that you done been battle tested. You done been through all of this, okay, and what it means. And you telling these guys their stories. And it's almost you on grandma like, man, you need to understand this opportunity that you got, right? And you see we see young guys that come in. It's just, we was all young at one time.
Mhm.
Don't quite understand, but you just like, man, look, I want you to understand, man, this opportunity doesn't come to everybody. Right?
Mhm.
How do you take that now, man, and tell those young guys that surround you, because I'm gonna say it's because it was like, oh, well, it's gonna be a youth move. What? Okay. All right. Well, who's better to get those young guys ready than a guy like me?
I mean, and that's
Let's be honest.
and that's where you hit the nail on the head. You know what I mean? But the great thing about the Chiefs, one thing they do, they bring guys in that are like pretty much ready. I mean, there's not a young guy that comes in that doesn't have the work ethic. There might be some little things that they have to work on, but there's no poodles. There's dogs that's coming in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, the things that we're talking about in adversity. Excuse me, we all talk about it since training camp, or even when I was gone, and like these guys are like, and that's just where the emotional, it blends that whole line. I'm still talking to my guys watching the game. They're watching me. They're talking to me. Like we're still criticizing each other on the game, and that's just how that D-line room is with the Chiefs. Like we talk after every game, all of us, Chris, George, me, Mike, Dana. Like how'd you play? How'd you play? What happened on this play? What happened on this play? You could do this. You could do that. So it's just these big moments, nobody's really sweating. There's not really a whole speech or grand things or chaos that's going on in the locker room. Everybody's kind of like, what we need to do. They've laid out the game plan. Let's execute it to a maximum level. And let's not make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Usually when we do that, we come out with a W. So, and that's just what everybody has seen. This isn't, and that's the beautiful thing about the locker room. And I'm a big advocate, for having vets in the locker room, or even in every position group. But as as you get older, you get expensive. You become more of, a dead cap hit. You become more of a liability. You get expensive. So if your play isn't aligning with your worth, then you become expendable. So I think just as me as older athlete, I just always want to be someone that's not expendable. I know what I'm good at, but I always want to, be the best at that on the field that day. And it can't be up and down for me. It has to be consistently all the way through. And that's why it's good to be around guys like George, Chris, Mike, Dana, because they're going to bring the best out of me and I'm going to bring the best out of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't, brought here just to, corral like, hey, we need to do this or that. No, these are my brothers. We're going to do this together. You're going to run gashers. I'm going to run gashers with you. We repeat drills. We're going to do it too. We're going to get it right. When we having those conversations that, we need to do what we need to on the field.
I would say, man, that y'all group is the one that's going to be challenged for the rest of the year.
Oh, absolutely. Playoff football, absolutely.
Absolutely. What to get out of you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're always talking about the pressures and the sacks and all the things, and the demand from you guys. What are they going to bring? And so, what I love about it, like you were saying, that brotherhood, that y'all tight knit group, like y'all understand what y'all need to do.
Absolutely.
Y'all get it. Yeah, they preaching to the choir. Hey, man, shoot. Like, we understand because we're the ones out here doing it. And I got a little upset, man. I'm going to tell you, after the game was over.
Yeah.
And everybody was coming out, all the Chiefs suck, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, there's nobody more hurt than these guys that just was out there on the field playing.
Mm-hmm.
However you feel like you think that you're bothered by this and hurt, you have no idea how those guys feel.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea. And so it was coming up out of me because I'm sitting there like, yo, man, I remember, like you said, it was bothering me for a couple of days. You can't really
I'm telling you.
go to or sleep like you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you just running back over the game like, dang, God, I could have had a different play than this. And, this thing happened to me. So that group of guys that you just named, George, CJ, Mike Dana. I see Mike Dana out there at training camp. I didn't get to see you. I seen you was on the cart going up the hill.
Oh, man. Trying to use the cart as much as possible.
I got to talk to Mike, but I told Mike, I said, man, Mike, I said, look, man, I see you, brother. I see how you work out here. I'm telling you, not only I see how you work, but I see how the guys around you appreciate you for what you do.
Oh, absolutely.
And I said, that is probably better than any type of accolade when your boys around you recognize your value and your worth. And it was the same thing like Chris was saying about you. Like, man, we got to get my brother back here, right? He's calling out here, letting them know, hey, man, who's listening to this? Okay? Who's listening? Because I'm going to say it. And so, hey, they're like, shoot, we got to bring Mike back. But like you said, man, from this point on, y'all going to be challenged for the rest of this year to get everything right, man. I know you kind of talked about it, man, but just give us a little something, man. Like just the mentality of where y'all are as a group, with this challenge.
I think everybody's excited for the challenge. Everything that everybody's saying, we're more critical of ourselves in that building, in that locker room, in our meeting room than anyone else can be. The coaches are holding everybody accountable, and everybody is just ready to go. We're ready to play. Nobody's licking their wounds. We're excited for this challenge, and we're excited to see what the next 7 days where people change their tune after Sunday. We have the guys. There's not going to be any trade deadline over with. We got everybody that we get. We're going to be good. We got a lot of guys that have been in these big games, and we've done that. But it's hard sometimes to explain to people unselfish championship football. Sometimes, you got to stay in your gap an extra second because that running back can bounce out. That might mean you're not making as many tackles that game. Sometimes it might be your game where you have to make those single block tackles, but you need to stay exactly where you be at. But, we have a lot of unselfish guys that are like that. So, it's hard to explain that to the game in the outside world. It's hard to explain that to PFF where it's like, no, I got to watch the running back here on the screen. I can't just run over here and make you look good to do what you need to do here. So, but I that's why, you can't ever be too high or too low with this, the media or the criticism on the outside, as long as you have that confidence and you can find within your coaches, the players in the locker room. And, we're very direct. There's no sugarcoating from anyone, the coaches or the players. So you know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it's all for the benefit of the team win. So, guys, I know in our room are really excited for the challenge because it's a good group. It's a great running back. I'm very excited. I love games that are more heavily focused on running backs or premier runners. So, zone, gap scheme guys, I love those type of schemes, being able to play them in the game. So, we're excited to see. We're excited to see how we match up and how to knock down this challenge, and then we'll see where we're at and how everybody's talking after the game.
There you go. Well, man, this would be good for you, man. You get to bench press a couple of jokers this game, man. You know what I'm saying?
We need to. Yeah, we need to, man.
I'm telling you, man, I can't wait for y'all to play, man. I want to see y'all just demolish this team, man. JT, I don't want to see a joker touch no pay dirt whatsoever.
I'm trying to tell you. It's in these big games, these playoff teams, the offensive and defensive lineman battle is where, who wins in them trenches, that's going to win. It's definitely who comes with the better mentality that day. So, I just hate to sound cliche, but once we put our mind to it and everybody has our right mindset that we need to dominate, I don't see how we don't.
Yeah, I think I heard it during Nick Bolton's press conference today. He kind of compared it to similar game planning to when you guys played Falcons last year against Bijan Robinson. And you guys everyone going into that game, everyone was saying, "Oh yeah, Bijan's going to run all over this defense," and you guys stifled them in that game.
Yeah, everybody, we got a bunch of smart players over there. We've seen this before. Just come down to making your tackles when everybody playing unselfish football in the run game and getting them positioned to where they can pass the ball. Spags will have something new dialed up. The pass rushers are hungry. They're tired of hearing that they ain't getting there. So I know that that's on everybody's mentality. They're circling down big. So, yeah, I mean, actually, as you asked me that question earlier, what's a little different in our room, I think everybody's kind of, more intentful like this week and working on little things. We're spending a little bit more extra time on focus on, what the scheme is, but our individual matchups and how we can dominate our 111 to help the team. I think everybody's taking that to another level this week so they could, put themselves in the position to be successful.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you guys eat these Colts on Sunday, man. One last thing before we get you out of here, Mike. Again, we appreciate you coming on here, man. I always love having you on the show, man.
Always a good time.
So if anyone follows Mike on Instagram, great follow. If you are following him, everyone would know that you're a big food guy. You're a big time food guy. Thanksgiving I know Thanksgiving's about a week and a half away. Do you have anything special? I know you guys will be playing in Dallas, but do you have anything special on the docket for Thanksgiving? A special type of meal? What are you doing on Thanksgiving this year?
I'm actually just going to have the whole family over my house right after the game, bring the kids. My family's real big. They're Kansas City based. We're big on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we'll do the classic, turkey, mac and cheese, dressing, all that stuff. I have changed my diet a little bit. Had to come back like 15 pounds lighter. So, I'll keep it a little lighter then, you know what I mean? So we don't go crazy like we did years before. But I'll be around the family, be celebrating the win and, be on the right track, man. That's what I'm looking forward to.
There you go. Get them turkeys down there in Dallas first. Get them turkeys in Dallas first, man. You know what
I mean? To tell you, got to take care of business.
That's right. That way you can have a nice hearty meal after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, then it won't even matter. You know what I mean? We'll go crazy after that.
Right. That's what it is, man. I tell you what, man. I appreciate this conversation, Mike. Man, I'm gonna have some fire for us on Friday. I'm over here hyper already, just thinking what I have for us. So, but hey, listen, like I said before, man, always going to defer to you guys. I know where your mentality is, man. Y'all are warriors through and through. And so sometimes you almost want the doubt. Sometimes you almost want the criticism coming your way, right? Because you want people to doubt you. Like, okay, watch what I do coming back this week, right?
Make it that much sweeter.
Yes, sir. And so, man, I know y'all gonna push through it. Y'all shown that before, but now, like you said, it's gonna be even more sweeter. The victory that's coming up to you all. So y'all start with them first, man. Out there with Indy, okay? They're gonna be at home in the house. Y'all give them a nice warm welcome, man, and fold them jokers up like a bad suit. All right,
I'll tell you.
Yes, sir, man. But hey, like I said before, brother, hey, I appreciate you so much. Y'all keep going out there, keep fighting. I know y'all right. I know y'all right.
Sure.
I know y'all ready. So go shock the world, brother. Go shock the world. And so,
Jason, Marcus, I appreciate you guys. It's always a blessing to be on, man. A couple of weeks we'll have to do it again with an update. We'll be trending on a different topic then.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Mike.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, man, many blessings to you, Mike. Okay.
Appreciate it. Chiefs Kingdom, appreciate y'all too, man. All the love and support, man. Trust me, it don't go unnoticed. And, we're going to do our thing, man. Y'all stay by our side as always.
You got your back always, brother. You got your back always.
Always, man.
Know that.
All right, you guys. You have a good one.
All right,
Take
Mike.
it easy, Mike.
All right.
And that was Mike Pennel, man. The best, man. Love Mike Pennel, and he always keeps it real with us. And that's on this show. We keep it real, as always with JD and myself, and of course Mike Pennel coming on here tonight. Loved what I heard from Mike. I didn't expect anything different, but if you weren't, let me tell you, if you're one of our Chief Concerns fans who's on the fence about this team making a push in these last 7 games, if you were on the fence before, maybe after hearing Mike, maybe you're not on the fence anymore. Maybe you're back in the saddle, hopefully, because what I just heard there is a confident guy, and what he's saying from the locker room, it sounds like everyone's kind of intent on this one goal of like, oh, they hear the doubts, now it's time that get us things rolling here. And like you said, the little things, and that's kind of what you've been saying all week, JD, the little things.
Yeah. And so you could just tell, man, they locked in and focused. And what I love about it is they're getting each other right? They're sharpening, iron sharpen irons. So, hey, man, what did I do on this one? Can I do better? What I need to do on this? And so what I love him moving the conversation, going to, not being selfish in balling. It's not always about the numbers. It's about the win, right? The main thing is the main thing. And so for them, they were like, look, we don't care who gets the glory. Like, we're here to do my job. If my job is requiring me to take two guys and, and make sure that the linebacker comes up and makes the tackle and everybody does, I'm here to do that. I'm here to put a spotlight on everybody else. That's amazing stuff. That is, because usually when fans and everybody else out here, people start looking at their stats. They're looking at their numbers. Oh, what I have here today and all this. And it's like, man, we're here to try to get the championship. If I get a little glory in all of this, then fine. But like they said, it don't matter who gets, the credit. That's all that matters, who gets the win. That's what we're looking to do. This is a team thing. And I said, Marcus, this is really the last, legitimate team sport. You need everybody around you to do their job to win. And so I know that D-line and room is going to be right. And I had to ask him that. I was like, man, what do y'all say right now? Because y'all the ones being criticized a lot about the pressures and the sacks and stuff like that. They know it. They hear it. But they don't have to be told that. These guys are professionals. They understand what's at stake. They understand what that needs to be done. And so, like you said, if Mike's conversation right then didn't hype you up, then then you all the way out the door. And then don't come back. Stay out there, right? Shut the door on you. That's fine. Okay? We'll see y'all another time. But for the ones that understand that, hear the conversation, knowing what it is, how they feel, what the locker room emotions about, it's easy to stay on this ship. Easy. Like I said, and I was saying, nobody's departing from this cruise line. I love what he said. It's a beautiful cruise. Why are you departing from it? For what? Right? This ain't the Titanic. You know what I mean? It's not that. So, yeah, brother, that was a good time. That was always a good time. So
yeah, I always love having Mike on. Like I said, it keeps it real. And between you guys, like 20, 25, 26 years of NFL experience. I mean, that's guys, what you just saw whenever Mike and JD were on the show together, whenever you see guys who were playing the league 10 plus years, we just saw it as it's like seeing like a rare animal, like, because you don't see them. That doesn't happen often. That's 20 plus years of the NFL experience on the show tonight, guys. That doesn't happen often, guys. What was the average career? Is 3 years, JD?
3 years. It's two and a half. It might be three now, but it was 2.5.
Man,
shoot, yeah, it might still be that. But yeah, bro, we rare birds. So I said you got to savor every moment. And that's what part of the conversation you had to have with the young people too. The young guys that's coming in the league, and let them know exactly what this thing is and lay it all the way out to them, Marcus. Okay. Don't, like you said, don't sugarcoat nothing. It ain't going to do no good. So.
Yeah. And he's, I mean, what he said, he never thought he experienced something like this, playing for this team 3 times, going from being, our main run stuffer and then a surprise cut, and then go to Cincinnati and then coming back in the same year. I mean, that's like, for all the young guys, I honestly don't even really be told anything. What Mike went through this year is like, hey guys, it's a business and anything can happen. Like, that's just like, he's like a walking example of what the NFL is. And like, that could be you. So get ready.
That's right. So, hey man, these guys are going to handle business. They're going to handle business. And so, like you said, you can't get too high and too low for any of this, right? Nobody's walking around with their head down and feeling sorry for themselves, licking their wounds. That ain't how they built. They're not built like that. And so for them, they was like, man, this is kind of shocking that they're not pulling these things out at the end. It's like, okay, all right, we got to switch some things up, get this thing all the way put together. So, and And he said in himself, and like I said, man, look, every game is important. You know, you ain't looking, shoot, every game is a desperation game. You try to win every game. That's how it works. You don't go out there just to say, I might give part of my, my all today. I might just give a little bit. Wow, I got 8 more games left to do. So we give up 1 or 2. It ain't how it works, man. When you out there fighting for your life, at any time, any moment, it can be over. Shoot, you don't take nothing for granted. Take nothing for granted. So,
yeah. I mean, hey, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat say their worries are calmed down a little bit. So we do love that.
Yeah. So it's good. That's good. So Friday, man, we get out here, man. We're gonna talk about some good business. Marcus and them guys gonna make sure y'all get some money in your pocket, okay? And I'm telling you right now, you better put your money on the Chiefs for this one. You better put your money on the Chiefs. Yes, sir. Yes,
all
sir.
In, baby. All in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think we're getting to the point now, JD. I know we may have to dust off the old wheelbarrow story because I think some people are starting to get off that. And I'll say this now: before this Colts game, guys, either you pick a side because if not, stay on that side. We don't want the negativity. Stay on that side.
Yeah, there's too much of it out here, and the ones that call themselves like true fans, and you like, hey man, you ride with your team. You ride until the wheels fall off. And so, yeah, if they ain't heard the wheelbarrow, we need to bring the wheelbarrow out. Talk about it. So, like I said, the ones that's leaving the ship and, oh, my gosh, we fine, we suck, and this and that. I'm just like, all right, keep with that same energy, okay? But make sure you don't come back through, man, when they start winning it all. Don't you go, hey, man, wait. No, shoot, you left the party, partner. You good. You stay right over there where you was. Okay? You stay right over there. So that was amazing. That was amazing.
That's how we roll on the show. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this Wednesday evening. We hope you guys enjoyed the entire episode. We hope you guys enjoyed JD and I talking about this Colts matchup, and as well as, of course, the main event, Mike Pennel hopping on here tonight and sharing kind of his journey throughout the year. I mean, what we heard from Mike Pennel tonight is very rare. You don't see that often. You don't see a guy play for a team 3 times. You don't see a guy get cut by a team, then brought back by a team within a couple of weeks later. So, you guys heard a lot from Mike tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed all that. But with that being said, like JD said, we'll have a show Friday, of course, at JD's 10 Keys to Victory in the dungeon, as well as Tasia and I's bets for this Colts Chiefs showdown week 12. So, JD, take us away, brother.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, we had a wonderful conversation visiting with Mike Pennel. The Beast is back. Like he said, he's there itching for a win. Those guys getting ready. They're going to be ready for war come Sunday. And so I'm just going to let everybody know, everybody be ready for it. Get your popcorn out. It's going to be a good show. We're watching because they're looking to really come out and hurt these Colts. And they should. Start with them and just go through each and every one that comes up to you after that. But over here, man, Chief Concerns, we ride with these guys. That's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. So with that being said, appreciate all you ladies and gents coming out tonight to come watch this wonderful show. Hey, stay with your boys, okay? They need you. They need you. They want you. But with that being said, we will see y'all on Friday. Come out here for the Keys to Victory and Marcus the Dash show, doing the numbers, okay? The betting show. With that being said, man, Marcus, my brother, love you. Love each and every one of you out there. Y'all take care. Love each other the way you're supposed to. That's the way we're supposed to do it. Y'all take care. God bless. And we will see you all on Friday. So
have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night. I'll take care.
See you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.